In the first scene of the movie, we see that it is the month of June and it is raining a lot. In such a weather, a high school boy is going to a very beautiful garden. The name of this boy was Takao, and he is just 15 years old. Takao goes to sit on a bench under a shelter to avoid the rain in that garden, and sees that a girl is already sitting there who is older than him, and she is drinking beer. This girl's name is Yukino, and she is 27 years old. Both of them look at each other. Yukino sits a little away from there so that Takao can get a place. Takao sits there and takes out a drawing book and pencil from his bag, and then starts drawing shoes and feet. Takao looks at Yukino from all angles, from bottom to top, and thinks in his mind that this drunkard started so early in the morning. Also, he feels like he has seen this girl somewhere before. Meanwhile, Takao's eraser falls down and Yukino picks it up and gives it to Takao. Takao says thank you to Yukino and both of them calm down. Then Takao asks Yukino, "Have we met before?" In response, Yukino refuses. Takao apologizes and both of them calm down again. Yukino's gaze goes to the monogram on Takao's half sweater, which belongs to a school, and she says to Takao with a smile, "This seems like the right time." And then a Japanese poem, which is called tanka, starts. After this, the scene shifts and we see Takao in his house where he is cooking food. Then his elder brother, whose name was Takao Akizuki, comes home from the office and asks where his mother is. In response, Takao says that she has run away and has left a letter in which he has written that no one should try to find her. Hearing this, Shoto says, "Okay, let her stay with her boyfriend for a while. She will fight with him and come back in a few days." After this, while eating, Shoto tells Takao that he has seen a place where he is shifting with his girlfriend next month. Hearing this, Takao tells his brother Shoto that maybe that's why his mother ran away from home, because Shoto had talked about going. In response, Shoto says that he wanted his mother to let him go happily, but his mother fought with him and said that she is going to her boyfriend. After this, Takao goes to his room and starts making handmade shoes. Meanwhile, Shoto comes there and asks for help to shift from Takao. After this, Takao shows Shoto many poems of Yukino and asks what it means. Shoto cannot tell what it means and says that when his mother comes back, ask her. After this, we are shown the scene of the next day where we see Takao in his school, where he is thinking that the day the weather is clear, that day he comes to school by taking the train. But should he really be here? After this, we see the scene of the next morning when it is raining, and for some reason Takao becomes very happy to see this. After this, we see that today he does not go to school, but again goes to that garden where he finds Yukino sitting on that bench again. Both of them say good morning to each other, and then sit quietly. After this, we see that Takao secretly looks at Yukino's feet very carefully and is drawing them. Suddenly, Yukino asks Takao that is his school not open today? In response, Takao asks her that is his office not open today? On which Yukino tells him that she did not feel like going to his office today. On hearing this, Takao smiles and says, "That is why you are sitting here and drinking beer in the morning." Yukino laughs, and then Takao explains that just drinking beer is not good for health. She also needs to eat something with it. On which Yukino says that according to a high school student, she does not know much in response, to which Takao says that her mother also drinks beer, so she knows. After this, Yukino says that she also has food, and then she takes out a lot of chocolates from her bag. She also offers food to Takao, for which Takao refuses. Yukino asks him that he must be thinking how strange this woman is. Takao refuses, but Yukino says that no problem. After all, we are humans, and every human is a little strange. After a while, the rain stops, and Takao starts going from there. Yukino asks him that is he going to school now? On which Takao tells him that the day it rains, he leaves the school the same day. But today the rain has stopped, which means he has to go to school now. Hearing this, Yukino tells him with a smile that then it means he will meet again because someday it will rain again. After this, we see that every day the day it rains, Takao and Yukino start meeting in that garden, and the day it didn't rain, Takao used to go to school and also did a part-time job in the evening. Meanwhile, one day Takao tells Yukino that he has a dream that he wants to be a shoemaker. He also tells that he is not good at this job at all, but he wants to make his career in this. After this, we see that Takao gets late to school because of his housework and part-time jobs. Sometimes the weather used to get clear, because of which he had to go to school from the garden. Because of this, he used to reach school very late. To come to school late, he used to get scolded by his teacher. One day, he feels that every day before going to sleep, and as soon as he wakes up in the morning, he starts praying for the rain. The day it didn't rain, he used to feel that he is in a childish place where there is nothing but impatience. He thinks about Yukino, that she lives in the world of rich people and is very far from that. For Takao, Yukino is not less than the ropes of any world. After this, one day while making shoes, Takao is thinking something in his mind. Takao says that this is for sure that Yukino thinks of him as a child, and also thinks that only shoemaking can take Takao from his world to Yukino's world. After this, the scene shifts, and one day when it is raining, Takao and Yukino meet again. While Takao is designing shoes, Yukino goes behind Takao and sees his drawing and starts asking about the design of his shoes. At the same time, Takao quickly closes the drawing book and says that there is nothing to see in it. Go and sit there. After this, Takao takes out his lunch and asks Yukino to eat too. Yukino says that she has brought her lunch with her. Takao asks her if she has made this lunch herself. Yukino says yes. Sometimes she also makes food. Hearing this, Takao asks Yukino to share lunch. Yukino says that she is refusing, that Takao eats a bite of her lunch and the food is not good at all. Yukino was also refusing her because she can't cook good food. Takao says with a smile that I liked this side of yours. It's not that bad, it has a different taste in itself. After this, he asks for more. After eating, Takao falls asleep and Yukino sees Takao's drawing book and says to Takao in a low voice that, "Hey, tell me, is it too late now?" Takao was sleeping, so he might not have heard this. After this, the scene shifts and we see Yukino in her house where she is talking to her ex-boyfriend on the phone, that she thinks that now there is an improvement in her taste. On this, her ex-boyfriend says to her happily, "Oh, so now your taste disorder is getting better." Friends, maybe Yukino had a taste disorder because of which she couldn't sense the taste of the food. Maybe that's why she couldn't even cook tasty food. Because after eating, she would have no idea about the taste. After this, we learn from Yukino and her ex-boyfriend that Yukino has left her job long ago, but she still hasn't completed the formalities of the resignation. So she has to come to the camp one last time and sign the resignation letter. Her ex-boyfriend tells her that he will complete all the formalities for Yukino. Friends, maybe Yukino and her ex-boyfriend used to work at the same place. Yukino says thank you to her ex-boyfriend because he is not with her now, but still she is doing so much for him. Also, Yukino tells him that now he is talking to Yukino very lovingly. But when Yukino was in so much pain, she didn't believe Yukino and only heard the rumors around her. Friends, maybe Yukino and her ex-boyfriend broke up because of the rumors about them. You will get to know about this in the video. After this, the next day, we meet Takao and Yukino again, and Yukino gives Takao a shoemaking book, which Takao says that this is a very expensive book, and happily says thank you to him. After this, Takao says that he is trying to make a shoemaker, so this book will be very useful for him. After this, Yukino says that is he making shoes for himself? Takao says that he hasn't decided yet for whom he is making these shoes. Also, he says that he is making shoes for a girl, but he's not able to make the right shape and size for her. After hearing this, Takao asks Yukino if she is talking about her job. Yukino replies that yes, along with her job, there are many other things troubling her. This makes Takao reflect on how much time has passed since he first met Yukino, yet he still knows so little about her. He wonders why he feels an irresistible pull toward her, even though he doesn't even know her age or full name. The next day, the weather clears up and the rain stops, marking the end of their daily meetings. Yukino, while happy that Takao is now going to school regularly, finds herself wishing that the rain would never end. Her heart longs for those rainy days spent together, despite her rational mind knowing otherwise. Later, Yukino visits the same spot in the rose garden, reminiscing about their time together. Meanwhile, Takao helps his brother with moving, their lives seemingly shifting toward different paths. Takao's brother's girlfriend thanks him for helping with the move and invites him to dinner, but Takao declines, explaining he has to go to work. During the conversation, his brother mentions that the shoes Takao is wearing are handmade and that Takao crafted them himself. Hearing this, his brother's girlfriend is thrilled and praises Takao's talent. However, his brother dismisses it as a fleeting passion of youth, believing it will fade over time. As summer vacation begins, Takao takes on more part-time jobs to save money for his dream of becoming a shoemaker. Meanwhile, Yukino becomes increasingly tense, struggling with her own challenges. Takao finds himself missing Yukino but decides not to revisit the garden, thinking it's a childish longing. At the same time, Yukino reflects on her life, resolving to regain her footing, both literally and metaphorically. While indulging in beer and chocolate, she muses that she's no longer as sharp as she was 15 years ago. In September, Takao returns to school and reconnects with his friends Sato and Matsumoto, who are dating. Sato asks how his summer vacation went, sharing that he and Matsumoto had a blast at the beach. Takao replies that he spent the entire vacation working part-time jobs. Surprised, Sato jokes about Takao's habit of being late, and Matsumoto agrees, teasing that Takao is never on time for the first period. Takao responds by mentioning his new rule: he avoids taking the subway on rainy days. As they leave the staff room, the door opens, and Yukino steps out. Both she and Takao freeze in shock at the unexpected encounter. Sato greets her respectfully as Yukino-sensei, and a group of girls gathers around her. Yukino announces that she'll only be at the school until the 5th period, as she's resigning permanently. Both Takao and Yukino are visibly stunned by this revelation. It turns out that Yukino was a teacher at Takao's school, and her earlier conversations about leaving her job were related to her resignation. Yukino had known all along that Takao was her student, but never revealed anything about herself. The scene also explains why Takao felt a sense of familiarity with Yukino when they first met. Later, Takao and his friends discuss the situation on the school rooftop. Matsumoto asks Takao if he knew Yukino-sensei was leaving, but Takao admits he had no idea she was even a teacher. Matsumoto explains that Yukino-sensei didn't get along with the senior girls at school. Sato elaborates, revealing that one of the senior girl's boyfriends developed a crush on Yukino-sensei, which made his girlfriend jealous. This jealousy led to the spread of false rumors about Yukino-sensei, damaging her reputation. Matsumoto adds that despite the harassment, Yukino-sensei, being a kind-hearted person, chose not to involve the police. After this, Sato mentions that the students had requested the principal to involve the police regarding the rumors, but the principal took no action. Later, Takao goes to Yukino-sensei's classroom, where his friend Aizawa is present. Takao informs Aizawa that Yukino-sensei is leaving the school. Aizawa dismissively apologizes but then remarks that she doesn't care about what happens to that vulgar woman. Hearing this, Takao loses his temper and slaps Aizawa. In retaliation, Aizawa's friend beats Takao badly. Despite this, Takao decides to go to the garden. Surprisingly, it isn't raining, but he leaves school anyway to meet Yukino. When Yukino sees him, she is shocked. Takao tells her, "Even if it doesn't rain, I'll still stay here with you." Yukino responds, saying this is the answer to the tanka she shared with him when they first met. Takao then reveals he recognized the tanka from a Japanese literature book and tells Yukino that she's not alone. He'll always be there for her, rain or shine. Yukino apologizes, explaining that she assumed Takao knew she was a teacher of Japanese literature. She adds that everyone in the school knows her, but perhaps Takao lives in his own small world. Noticing Takao's injuries, Yukino asks what happened to him. Takao jokes that he drank beer like her and fell off a platform, but then admits he had a fight with someone. Suddenly, lightning strikes, and it starts pouring rain. Both get drenched as the rain grows heavier. They decide to go to Yukino's apartment, where Yukino gives Takao dry clothes while she presses her wet ones. Meanwhile, Takao prepares something to eat, and Yukino makes coffee for him. They both feel this is one of the happiest moments of their lives. While they are sitting together, Takao looks at Yukino and confesses, "Yukino-san, I think I've fallen in love with you." Embarrassed, Yukino shyly responds, "Don't forget I'm your teacher." Takao becomes visibly upset, but Yukino explains that she has already decided to return to her hometown next week. She adds that she had been walking barefoot in the garden as part of her effort to start anew. Takao thanks her for everything, stands up, and prepares to leave. He changes back into his clothes and says, "Excuse me, I'm leaving now. Thank you for being such a gracious host." Yukino remains silent as Takao exits. Once he's gone, Yukino begins reflecting on all their moments together. She remembers Takao's words about always supporting her and, overwhelmed with emotion, suddenly runs after him barefoot. On her way, she stumbles down the stairs but quickly gets up and continues running. She finds Takao standing in a gallery. When their eyes meet, Takao shouts at her in frustration. "Yukino, forget everything I said earlier. I was wrong. I hate you. You're strange, and I should have stayed away from you." Tears stream down his face as he continues, venting his pain and confusion. Takao's final words echo as her eyes fill with tears. Barefoot, she slowly begins moving toward him. Without saying a word, she embraces him tightly, her tears streaming down as she holds on to him. Takao, overwhelmed, stands there silently as her emotions pour out. The rain continues to fall, blending with their tears, as the movie ends